You may have seen a surfeit of AI thumbnail numbnuts in the online blather chamber on YouTube suddenly, unprompted, as if bidden by the Cheeto-caked digits of an unseen Uber deity, asserting simultaneously the self-evident fact that the gaming industry is in dire straits. Hey, don't brush it off, assholes. No one wants gaming to join a British butt rock band.
Gaming is on a nosedive, and we can see it with the way that the current AAA studios are.
EA manages to continue firing talent that they have over at Respawn and canceling yet another version of Titanfall 3, while Apex Legends falls in numbers, and of course their golden goose of FIFA or EA Sports or whatever it's called has stopped making as much money as before, making all of them internally panic. And that's all before maybe their CEO just goes over to Disney.
I do actually think that we're having a Western gaming crash. This might sound crazy, but I think it is legitimately happening.
Really? The clickbait bullshit merchants are allowed to admit this now? Hey, welcome to the party I kicked off circa 09, assface. Glad you could finally admit we struck a Iceberg back in 08 and have been arcing toward the bottom of the briny deep ever since. And before anyone bites back with, look, a slow decline is not a gaming crash, allow me to remind you that following impact with the iceberg, the Titanic took 2 hours and 40 minutes to sink, which, if you think about it, is like half a cutscene in Death Stranding. The rank refusal to acknowledge the video game industry's 08 crash is the greatest single psyop since we all started pretending Batista can act, and Batista started pretending 250 pounds of pulsating roid meat could be successfully poured into a pair of size 30 skinny jeans. Look, step one in defining an industry crash is mitigating our Olympian expectations of what a video game crash actually looks like. An industry crash does not connote empty aisles in the electronics section at Target or ET Atari cartridges being buried in the same mass grave as former contributors to Channel Awesome. It means exactly what's printed on the sardine can. A crash, lower sales, less hype, negativity overtaking the steady crush of corpo industry optimism, and a steadily plummeting product, both qualitatively and productively. In just the period following the industry's 2007 peak, the number of video game titles at all budget levels sank like a Chinese submarine. Throw in a proliferation of industry bellwethers such as corporate consolidation, studio closures, and revised financial forecast. It paints the ugliest portrait King Charles didn't personally commission. Don't get me wrong though, games are still making more money than a coke dealer at a Hunter Biden bachelor party. 2007, for example, was an uncontested apex for the industry at large, with an estimated $44 billion in annual revenue. But even that falls to its fainting couch compared to the reported $214.2 billion raked in by the industry at its zenith in 2021. Indeed, cringe lords by way of counterpoint will rejoin that the single most profitable year for the industry was 2021. But the problem with that is threefold. First and foremost, 2021 was the same period in which our duly elected dipshits decided to cancel civilization to save us all from the sniffles. There was literally nothing to do but get our game on. And second, digging deeper into the Apple core reveals a rot that may in the long run prove incurable. While the industry made less than a quarter in 07 as it did in 2021, it also produced more product by an order of magnitude. Conservative estimates have the total number of AAA releases in 07 at between 150 and 200 titles, and that 44 billion came without the benefit of heavy hitters like GTA flopping their great big money cock on the counter. 2021 produced barely half as many AAA games over a similar span, in spite of boasting larger brand names and a captive install base nearly 4 times the size of 2007's. And thirdly, but thirdly, whatever the Everestian heights of the pandemic period, recent sales have fallen off harder than Howard Stern. Ever since the industry slammed the post-pandemic panic button in 2022, revising all annual sales expectations going forward, the industry has somehow, stunningly, consistently undershot even those apocalyptically low expectations for 4 years and counting. The result? The industry is losing jobs like a Catholic school marm with Tourette's. 10,000 layoffs in 2023, 14,000 layoffs in 2024, and as I record this rant, the industry's already reported over 8,000 in 2025 to this point. Faced with fatality figures that make Gaza look like a weenie roast, even the hype-huff and hipster halfwits on the 4 remaining video game journalism websites are solemnly but quietly acknowledging the mathematical reality that gaming is presently embroiled in the single largest slowdown in over 30 years. But as I've been saying since 2010 in rants such as the Gaming Crash 2, the signs of eventual insurmountable decline have been visible for over a damn decade. You corporate cockholsters and hipster glasses bedecked bullshitters and hypemeisters here on YouTube simply had no incentive to acknowledge it till now, because clickbait cash didn't come along for the ride. Nice you could join the RazörForce in reality, my dude, even if it took you a damn decade to show up to the shindig. What are you, driving a Tesla? I'd hope you'd all remember this when interchangeable flannel-plated YouTube essayist number 871 breathlessly hyperbolates about the decline of an industry he refused to even consider would come to pass for 10 plus years, despite all the signs of an eventual collapse being present all the way back in the Xbox 360 era. Because way back when, in the ether of antiquity, curly mustaches and bowler hats, the only asshat autistic enough to shout that truth out into the video void was me! I'm Razor Fist, fucketh thee, right I be, Godspeed!
I'm sorry.
We want to apologize.
Hold on.